Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the incredibly loud, hyper-fast-paced world of internet motivation. And we're going to uncover the quiet, profound psychological crisis that's hiding right beneath it. If you've spent literally any time on social media lately, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've seen the hustle culture clips. But we really need to ask, what is this relentless messaging actually doing to us? Well, get ready because we're breaking down the data and the psychology to completely redefine what true strength really means. Okay, let's get into this by looking at the hooks we see absolutely everywhere online. You definitely know the ones. They're meticulously engineered to grab your attention in a fraction of a second. You get these intense phrases like, start messy, start scared, just start, flashing by while some guy is deadlifting or typing frantically in a dark room. It's totally designed to push this relentless hustle culture that basically tells you any pause or any hesitation is a flat-out failure. And then, boom, the algorithm seeds you this one: work in silence, let success make the noise. The viral message here is incredibly consistent, and honestly, it's quite isolating. It's essentially telling viewers to completely isolate themselves, build this ultimate unwavering discipline, and just grind away without needing a single person by their side. The subtext? It's pretty clear. Needing people is just a distraction. Success is a solo mission. So, how exactly does this work? Well, our sources reveal exactly how this digital trap is set. Creators are actually taught a very specific, highly calculated viral formula. They're instructed to use massive text and shocked faces in the very first 2 seconds of a short 15-second clip. Why? Because that literally stops your scrolling thumb in its tracks. Before you even realize what's happening, you're trapped in this solitary mindset, absorbing the idea that you absolutely must work alone, late into the night to be worth anything at all. And this isn't just a Western phenomenon. This idea totally transcends borders. We see it in viral motivation mixes globally, utilizing powerful cultural phrases like the concept that today's relentless hard work is the only way to buy tomorrow's respect. It pushes this global narrative that total self-reliance and completely sacrificing your social life for the grind is the one and only true path to being respected by society. But let's step back from the digital facade for a second. Let's move away from the fast cuts and the trending audio and ask a really critical question. What happens when that silence becomes a little too quiet? What is this immense pressure to be an isolated, unbreakable pillar of strength actually doing to men in reality? That brings us to Section 1, the silent loneliness crisis. See, beneath the surface of that relentless daily grind, millions of men are battling a devastating yet completely hidden epidemic of loneliness. Our source material highlights something called the illusion of success. It's wild, because even men who appear incredibly successful on paper, the guys who are constantly crushing it in their careers, hitting all their goals, and looking perfectly put together on the outside, are often silently suffering on the inside. They're being crushed by the intense societal pressure to always appear strong and unbreakable, and it leaves them profoundly, deeply isolated. Let's dig into why that happens in Section 2, the mask of strength. To really understand exactly why this happens, we have to look closely at the powerful psychology behind the protective gear men are basically taught to wear from a very young age. The mask of strength is this deep, ingrained conditioning. From childhood, so many men learn a really dangerous lesson that showing any form of vulnerability is a fundamental failure. So what do? They strap on a mask. They hide their true emotions behind the stoic exterior just to survive the pressure. But the tragic irony here is that this very mask inevitably isolates them. It creates a barrier so incredibly thick that they end up feeling entirely alone even when they're physically sitting in a crowded room surrounded by friends. When we actually look at the psychology of friendships, we see a really stark difference. Female friendships often culturally allow for and even encourage open emotional sharing. But male friendships, they frequently lack that deep sense of brotherhood. Why is that? Mostly because everyone in the group is just too busy keeping their masks firmly in place. They're absolutely terrified of being the first one to slip up and show a crack in their armor. Which leads us to Section 3, hidden barriers to connection. So what's actually stopping guys from just taking the mask off? Understanding these 3 specific hurdles is absolutely crucial. First up, there's passiveness. Men often drop the ball on maintaining old friendships once the forced proximity of school or college ends. Life just gets in the way. Second, there's a severe discomfort with intense face-to-face emotional sit-downs. It just feels completely unnatural and awkward to many. And third, the digital trap. To avoid the massive pressure of careers and social expectations, a lot of men escape into the digital void of video games and endless scrolling. And unfortunately, that only isolates them even further. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. Let's look at Section 4, 5 Steps to Break Free. Here's the really good news. You aren't stuck here. Psychology doesn't just diagnose the problem, it actually offers highly practical, actionable steps to break out of this isolation. Here are 5 brilliant strategies drawn directly from the research to help men drop that mask and genuinely reconnect. Step 1 is a total game changer. Connect side by side instead of face to face. Because men often absolutely hate the pressure of sitting across the table for an intense, stare into each other's eyes coffee date, the easiest hack is to connect through a shared physical activity. Go lift weights together, watch a football match, or even play a structured video game. When you're looking at a shared objective side by side, the pressure completely drops, and the conversation just flows so much more naturally. Step 2 is finding and utilizing your third place. This is a regular physical spot outside of your home and your workplace. Think of a local sports club, a climbing gym, or a neighborhood cafe. This strategy relies on a powerful psychological principle called the mere exposure effect. By literally just showing up repeatedly to the same place, you naturally build familiarity and trust with the people around you, entirely without forcing it. For step 3, you've got to take the wheel. Take the initiative. You have to overcome that underlying fear of rejection and actively organize the meetups yourself. Seriously, stop passively waiting around for an invitation that might never come, because guess what? The other guy is probably just as scared of rejection as you are. Send the text, set the time, be the catalyst. Now, step 4 is incredibly powerful. Share a small vulnerability. Look, you don't have to spill your deepest, darkest secrets right away, but by having the courage to share just one small flaw, maybe a minor struggle at work, or just admitting you had a bad day, you instantly give the other guy psychological permission to take off his mask too. You show him that it's actually safe to be human. Finally, step 5, separate money from friendship. Never, ever delay connection because you think you need more money, a better car, or a more prestigious career first. Real brotherhood couldn't care less about your bank account. It's built entirely on your character, your honesty, and your willingness to just show up for others. Which brings us to our final takeaway in Section 5, redefining true strength. Let's bring this all together and reevaluate those loud, viral, motivational clips we talked about in the very beginning. While hard work definitely builds respect, and look, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being incredibly dedicated to your goals, true strength isn't about suffering in complete silence. It isn't about pushing everyone away just to prove you don't need them. True, unshakable strength is about having the immense courage to take off that heavy mask, look around, and admit that we actually need our brothers. We need genuine connection to thrive. Which leaves us with one final crucial question to think about. Instead of grinding away in total silence tonight, trying to embody some viral 15-second hook, I want you to take out your phone right now and answer this. Who are you going to reach out to today? Take the initiative, drop the mask, and start building your brotherhood. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.